Louisiana beer reviews Budweiser Chelada, made with Clamato. Original lager with natural flavors and vegetable juice for color. Well, I think it was about 10 years ago when I first reviewed this, and I know it's been changed to an extent. The coloring is from vegetable juice now. It used to be from like food coloring, and but it's still 5% alcohol. It's Budweiser mixed with Mott's Clamato, and it talks about Clamato as a registered trademarks of Mott's, used under license. 189 calories per 12 ounce. 189 calories per 12 ounces. This is a 25-ounce can, so don't shake. You're supposed to roll it. Let me roll it to you. All right, so thank you, David. My friend David gave this can to me. I don't know why he bought this, but he did. He buys some of the strangest things. 258th day of 2021. Good. Houston, Texas. HT. Good. At 3:21 p.m. Excellent. I was very discouraged by the recent review of Brooklyn Black Ops 4 Roses small batch, and they said look under the can for the Best By date, and it was like indecipherable. It was so blurry and smudged. And I looked at numerous written reviews on Beer Advocate and Rapier that said the same thing. So I said, wasn't just me, and that happens so often when I'll make a statement and it'll get repeated. And even though not repeated, but it was what other people were saying. You know what I'm saying? And some of the other things I said about that stout were common to other reviewers, in fact. But here we go with this. It's been about 10 years since I've done it's been over 10 years since I've done a solo review. 2011 I did this, and then in 2013 I did the Picante the Hot. Then we did an examination of this, and years later an examination of that. But a solo review, no, it's been a decade. So vegetable juice for color. Okay. Better than food coloring, I guess. I don't think food coloring is dangerous. I'm not a nutritionist. Contains shellfish. So you would have to go on Mott's website and look up the ingredients for Clamato, and it's a very long list. That's where the vegetable juice for food coloring is coming from. You know, tomato juice. And they use clams, so it says on the tap into your beer, contains shellfish. It contains water, barley malt, rice, Budweiser rice, verdant rice, meaning green rice, living rice, and yeast. Okay, so it's pinkish red. Smells like stuff I would never want to drink. Because it smells like raw seafood. Clams. Now, my grandmother used to own a house in Grand Isle, Louisiana, on the Gulf Coast of the Gulf of Mexico. And my uncle and my aunt still live down there. They have houses being rebuilt from Hurricane Ida. Now, but they live down there. So, from time to time, lots of clams would wash up on the shore, like little white clam shells, and you'd open them up and you see the clam inside. But that's not really a food item around here that people will eat. It's more like oysters. But I guess they were too small. But you get the big ones, you know. And the big, like on the shell oil, the call those things that are real popular in restaurants, scallops. Okay, that's what it smells like, these seafood markets. Like Hong Kong Market in Tarrytown, Louisiana, which is all that raw seafood. You walk in there and you say, and tomato juice. Well, yeah, that's what we want to be drinking. Okay, taste. Yeah, tomato, beer. don't know what he paid for this. I don't know where he bought it. He just said, here's a can. I bought 2. They have 2 for 2 for deals on these. You get a special price if you buy 2. So probably Racetrack you bought it, or Pilot, Flying J, one of those places. Most likely Racetrack. The body's not as heavy as you would think. It's like high medium, interestingly, because it's a lot more body than the very bizarre experience I had with the Four Roses small batch / Black Ops. It's salty. It's not overly salted. They need salt in it. I think they need salt to make it palatable. Sort of like a some stores sell this. Mathern's has it. Dollar Tree has it, interestingly, for $1. Like that type of Atlantic Coast clam chowder, you know, the red. There's like, isn't there like 2 types of clam chowder, like the cream based, which I like, the cream, and diced potato clam chowder, and isn't there like a red clam chowder? I think I had that in Georgia in 1980. It's a different type of thing, kind of like red jambalaya and brown jambalaya. And it's kind of like that red clam chowder. Anything else? You get the Budweiser taste in some way. It's like an underlying or a side taste. You know, but Budweiser isn't really bold in the flavor. Budweiser is a very mild flavored beer. Not a bad flavored beer like some of these hating haters who hate will tell you on the internet, you know, talking about, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. It's like a vampire to a crucifix, you know. You say Budweiser, oh. I said, they don't even believe that. It's more like antics. And that goes back to me saying there's easy targets in the review world. Budweiser for beer, Jack Daniels for whiskey, Jim Beam for whiskey, Johnny Walker Red Label for whiskey, Jameson for whiskey, Bacardi for rum. I hear it all the time for tequila, Jose Cuervo. I've never had Jose Cuervo. You know, but it's the same story. Like the beer, tequila, whiskey snobs will be like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Jose Cuervo tastes like horse urine drained through a dirty sock. I'd rather never drink again. And it's all this like hysteria. I'll get it right. Histrionics, you know, just like fake. It's almost like faux hysteria. You know what I'm saying? It's like an affectation. When the truth is really like, I don't know, Jose Cuervo is probably like Budweiser was. It's fine. It's not remarkable, but it's not as bad, not even close to being as bad as people claim it is. Now this product, which is made with one of the whipping horses of the beer world, the whipping horse of the beer world, Budweiser and Bud Light. I mean, it's fine. There's probably more solid at the bottom of the 25-ounce can. If I go to Racetrack at 6 in the morning, I will see people who seem to be from a Hispanic heritage. I don't know. I don't stop and interview them. They might be French. They could be Lebanese, but I think I'm correct considering the hurricane damage and who's working on and the language I hear, people communicating to each other, working on the roofs. And at 6 a.m. on any day, I see them buying lots of this stuff. Of whatever, you know, Modelo and Sol, the Budweiser, the Dos Equis, the Clamato Chelada type tomato-based products. It's usually in the early a.m. So there goes the myth that people will tell me Hispanic people never drink Corona. Oh, really? I've been to Mexico a number of times. I see Corona everywhere. People drinking it here, there, everywhere. But if you would ever want to drink a beer that is blended with Clamato, shellfish, clams, and tomato juice. I would not be wanting to do that, but if you did, for whatever reason, have this desire to do it, this would be fine. I think, in a way, because this was introduced in 2007, this sort of got it rolling. Yes, I know there were other premix canned Bloody Mary beer things before 2007, but this seemed to get the momentum going. Now you got the Estrella Jalisco versions, the chamoy, and all of those. You got the mojito, the one from another one from Mexico, mo thing we don't get here, but I've had it. If you want one that's super seafood, raw seafood tasting, get these sold. They show a clam on it, the label, and it tastes like raw clams. Like with the little wooden house by the seashore where they're cleaning the fish. That's what it smells like, tastes like. This one's not so much like that, but it does have that. Yeah. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it. Like I say, if that's your thing. They're showing lime. I could taste the lime in it. I live next door to Texas, and Texas is next door to Mexico. And you know what I mean. So if you go to Texas, there's like 3 times as many of these as in Louisiana, and the further south you get towards the Rio Grande, it's more and more. But we get a good representation. I would never want to drink it actually, but I am drinking it. This is the original. Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't give it an A. You put on some weight drinking it. Yeah, 9.4 out of 10. It's most excellent. I was never a Budweiser hater. I said this years ago when I did Corona videos. I said I liked Corona back before I knew I was supposed to hate it. The craft beer people told me, people in the beer world don't drink Corona. It's kind of looked down on. I wouldn't mention that I liked it. I was like, thanks for the advice. I'm going to ignore that because that's insanity. I'm not part of that paradigm. Anyway, so yeah, 9.4 out of 10. A good product. Like I said, if you're looking to drink beer, tomato juice, and maybe semi-cooked clams. And y'all go to Houston, Texas and tour the Anheuser... Oh yeah, they don't give tours anymore. Y'all go to Houston, Texas and drive by the Anheuser-Busch brewery on Interstate 10, where you can literally smell the beer cooking. That you can do.